Lainey Patterson for History News reporting live with the White Star Line General Manager Thomas Andrews. Thomas Andrews became General Manager during 1907. The name White Star Line may not sound familiar, but the name Titanic might. He was in position during the time of the building and sinking of Titanic. We go to him now for some more information. Good morning, Mr. Andrews. Thank you for joining us.
My pleasure.
So, where are you from?
Originally, I'm from Conver County, Ireland.
How did you begin shipmaking?
I began at an apprenticeship at a joiner shop.
It is to my understanding that when describing the Titanic, you stated it was as nearly perfect as human brains can make her.
Yes, this is true. Apparently, though, I was mistaken.
Were you on board when the Titanic struck the iceberg?
Yes, I was. The Titanic struck the iceberg on April 14th at approximately 11:40 p.m.
What was your first reaction?
Well, my first reaction was to assess the damage. After that, I relayed the information to Captain Smith. From there on out, we began evacuating all the passengers.
How much time did you have to evacuate the boat?
We began evacuating an hour before the ship sank, so not much time.
Why did a majority of the passengers die?
The ship did not carry enough lifeboats, unfortunately. We didn't think that it was sinkable, so therefore we did not have enough lifeboats.
What a shame. Is that how you died?
Yes, that is how I died. Protocol was to allow women and children onto the lifeboats first. I stayed behind and I did not regret it. It was my fault and I would die with my fellow passengers.
Do you need a tissue? Well, thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
Oh, hello. We've contacted 24-year-old Margaret Hayes, a survivor of the Titanic, who we are very fortunate to get an interview with. We'll transfer over to the interview now. Hello, Miss Hayes. How nice of you to join us for this interview. I understand it must be a very touchy topic, but we're very glad that you're here.
No problem. Sharing my story is just part of everyone knowing what really happened.
It is to my understanding that you're a survivor of the Titanic. Were you accompanied by anyone?
Yes, my friends Lily Potter and Olive Earnshaw. Aboard the ship, I met a man who became very fond of me, Gilbert Tucker. I also had my Pomeranian lady with me.
What were you doing on the night of April 14th when the Titanic collided with an iceberg?
I, along with my friends, were all sleeping when it happened. Soon after the engine stopped, Olive and I went to Lily's room, who ordered us to go find out what the problem was. 10 minutes later, we were told by a steward that we had hit an iceberg, but not to worry and just go back to sleep. I thought little of this, but Lily was frightened.
What did you decide to do after you heard the news?
I wrapped my dog lady in blankets and headed to the top side where we met Mr. Tucker. We then awaited orders, and Tucker helped myself, Lily, and Olive into life jackets before himself. Then we proceeded to the boat deck.
What is the most memorable part of this experience?
I'll never forget when James Clinch Smith passed me by on the boat deck and jokingly commented, "Oh, I suppose we ought to put a life preserve on the little doggy, too."
Were you able to board the lifeboat?
Lily, Olive, and I all boarded the first lifeboat, which was number 7, and of course I was holding Lady.
How were you rescued after being aboard a lifeboat?
In the early hours of April 15th, a ship by the name of Carpathia picked us up.
What was the aftermath like?
Well, 2 young French boys who spoke no English had lost their father, who had previously kidnapped them from their mother. So I took them to America with me, and they stayed until their mother was able to contact them and come get them. But afterwards, I stayed in regular contact with Gilbert Tucker.
Wow, this sounds like a memorable experience. Thank you so much for sharing it with us.
You're welcome.